Syracuse Common Council with one last voting meeting for 2025, and then come January, a slightly new look to council, but certainly bigger shifts across city leadership after November's elections. Joining us now to talk about a variety of city topics, Councilor Jimmy Monto. Jimmy, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Hi, Jeff. Good to see you, too.
You've been a city lawmaker now a little over 3 years, so you got some experience. You'll have two brand new councilors serving with you come January. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, it's so exciting to see new faces, new bodies kind of come into the room with their excitement and their newness. My advice is always the same when someone gets into the political atmosphere and gets elected. Listen to your constituents, read what comes in front of you, pick up the phone when your constituents call you, answer their emails, and let them know that you're there for them. I am very cognizant every day that that's exactly the job that I am there to do.
Busy year for you, all in 2025, of course. What would you say are a couple of things that stand out for you that you're maybe most proud of as a councilor?
Boy, that's a difficult question for 2025 because 2025 was a mayoral election year. So I think a lot of times we get lost in that. We get lost in the politics and, the banter is usually about that instead of like the good that the city is doing. So it's hard to talk about 2025 in that way. But I think that now that we're past that and we have new leadership coming in, I think I'm looking forward to what is ahead.
Yeah, so what's on the agenda then for 2026? You'll have a new mayor, you'll have a couple of new councilors there. What do you think in 2026 looks like?
I think 2026 we're in this time with a new mayor, and with a new mayor comes new ideas, but the problems are kind of the same, Jeff, right? We have a housing crunch, housing crisis, if you want to call it that. Crime is always on the forefront. We're always looking at a city that has a structural deficit, at least for the last, few decades. So, those challenges are still in front of us. Hopefully with a new council and a new shift, a new mayor, there are new ideas to cut expenses and increase revenues, new ideas to make Syracuse, a better place to live for everyone. As you know, I'm a champion for this city. I was born in it and I love it. So it's hard to get me to talk bad about it in any way, but that doesn't mean that I'm not cognizant of the challenges that we have.
What are you thinking you as councilors might be able to do? And it might not be a lot, but the viaduct project is really starting to move into the city of Syracuse, and it's going to impact people's lives. How do you try to help mitigate some of that, again, as a city council?
Yeah, no, I think we have tremendous power to mitigate that through communication, and we've been trying to do that. We just had a committee meeting last week with the Department of Transportation, which are public facing, where we try to keep the public not only updated as to what's going on, but asking them, how is this making you feel? How is it impacting you? I think that's our biggest job right now as a council, is to make sure that our constituents know what is going on and that we're getting their feedback. And the DOT has been great about that. I will say that I've been saying to a lot of people that live in my district and outside of my district, you just have to be patient. This is a once in a lifetime, at least my lifetime. This is the biggest infrastructure project that we will ever see, and it's going to create some hard times for us. Our commutes are going to get a little longer. You're going to have some traffic, but it is going to be worth it. I promise people it's going to be worth it.
All right, Jimmy, I got one last question for you here. We've kind of talked around it a little bit, let's say. There's a new mayor. She's a familiar face. We know Sharon Owens, right? She's been the deputy mayor. But what kind of working relationship do you anticipate between this newer looking council and this new administration?
Listen, I'm hopeful. Sharon Owens is my friend. She is more qualified than I think anybody that I can think of right now to step into this role. It's an exciting time. We just elected our first black mayor. She's a woman. She's forward thinking. I have a great relationship with her, and I look forward to, that relationship changing, because it always does. We're not going to agree on everything. This council is going to push back. She's going to push back against the council, but, she's a collaborator. And so am I, and I'm an optimist about this city, and so is she. So I'm very hopeful. I'm optimistic, pretty much every day.
Awesome. Jimmy, it was really great having you on. Let's try to do this on a semi-regular basis here going forward. Deal?
Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation.
You got it. We'll talk to you. Be good.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.